Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
Let's call the meeting to order. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our regular meeting of May the 17th, 2022. Does any member of council have any pecuniary or financial interest to declare? Ted and Debbie, okay, you can do so at the time. I'll do the minutes. You've seen the minutes for our public and regular meeting of May the 3rd. Any errors or omissions to those minutes? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Moved by Debbie Poplinski, seconded by Ted Brown. Motion to approve minutes of public meeting held on May 3rd, 2022, and regular meeting held on May 3rd, 2022, open and closed sessions.
All those in favor? Carried. Thank you.
I chair.
Oh, so you can sign.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's right. All right, you guys can go ahead with that.
Yeah.
So council, this evening, we have a delegation. And Lynn and Bruce, I think you know all of us here. Yeah, and of course, we all know Lynn and Bruce. And I read your email. Sue gave it to me. Oh, here it is. So before I give you the floor and then you can make your presentation. Just looking at the email, I'm going to give you a history lesson on what's been happening with that property, okay? First of all, we've been dealing with that property for years now. When a property becomes like that one, it's still private property. The municipality has no right to, I was talking to a taxpayer today and I said, how would you like if I went to your property? Somebody complained they didn't like the way it looked and I just took over. Well, you can't do that. Thanks, that. So we can't. So it wasn't an easy situation. First of all, there was a lien on that building. It was over $600,000, the lien. So before anybody could touch the building, before anything could be done with the building, that lien had to be looked at. So we knew that if nobody was going to buy the property, if they had to pay $600,000 on lien and then whatever the property was worth. So we're looking at big money. And also council, in their wisdom, said, we're not going to use taxpayers' money, $600,000 of taxpayers' money, because that's the whole municipality, to take over that building and pay the liens. So, and it's a process, council gave me the authority to go and speak with both the federal and provincial government, which is where that money was owed. So both federal and provincial had liens on that building. And we couldn't touch anything until those liens were looked after. So a lot of negotiating back and forth, and with the help of our MPP, John Yakubuski, and our MP, Cheryl Gallant, we got those, and council's strong support, we got those liens written off. And it took us years to do that. Those things have to go through, everything. So we weren't just sitting on our butts. We've been doing things, but it's a slow process. That's just the way governments work. So then we made that the tax sale process follows certain timelines. We tried to sell it. We tried to give those, we have to by law, give the people that own that property the right to pay some money on what they owe. So if they do, then we have to start back at square one again. 3 years, we pay some money, we go back and start again. And that's the process, okay? That's the law. So once all the timelines have been met, we got the property, the liens waived off. We put it for a tax sale. Nobody got it. There's no tenders. We never received one anybody interested in that property. So we had the option to put that property in our name again, just lately. That's the process. So we haven't been sitting. We've been working on it. Council decided to take ownership of the property, and that's what we did. So we now, for not more than a month or two, not even a month maybe, we own it, but not very long. So now council has given staff some options to go and look what council could do now, okay? So we haven't received that report back from our staff on what options we have. Once we get those options, council is gonna make a decision on what we're gonna do with that property. And I see that in the next couple of months, maybe a month or two, I see that we get those options back to us. And then council will have to decide what they want to do. But it is now in our ownership. So for the first time in all those years, we have some authority. We didn't have any before. So our staff have been, it's dangerous, nobody can go in there. So our staff have been in there. I spoke with them on Monday and no sign of rats. So I don't know who told you that, but that's, they didn't see any. I'm not saying they aren't there. Maybe one is in there, but we didn't see it when we were in there. And we have it boarded up. So we're trying to keep everybody out and nobody is allowed to go in there because it is a dangerous building. So I've given you a very quick years and years of work into my opening remarks because I just wanted you to know that we haven't been sitting on it. It does take a long time. As a municipality, even we have to follow certain rules and laws, and that takes time. It's not just like if you or me are making a transaction and you're going to buy it and all that's a lot easier. You can do that within months, but not the way it is when you're dealing with both fed, provincial. And so the reason we put the bid out at 200,000 is that's what we have invested of taxpayers' money. So, you know, I got some, I guess they were reading on Facebook, I got some calls from people that live in Round Lake, just 4 of them, but they said, none of my money is going into that building to tear it down. So then I said, well, unfortunately, you know, there is money of taxpayers in there already, and that's what we're trying to do is we're trying to recover it. That's what we have to try to do. But again, it'll all be up to council. Once we've looked at all the options, it'll be up to council what it is that we finally determine what we do. Okay.
Can you just clarify something for me?
Yes.
Like you said, you got the liens written off.
Yes.
And then you took ownership of the building.
Yes.
Then you mentioned investing 200,000 already into it.
Well, yes, because we got those liens off, but they owe municipal taxes, county taxes, school taxes. That's all the money.
Water, sewer.
Water, sewer, hydro, all that stuff is all on there, but nothing has been paid.
So that's what you had to pay once you took possession.
No, we've been paying that over the years.
That's what's owing to the municipality.
Yes. So the county and the school board, they don't care if there's nobody living there or it's closed down, they take their money. So we've been using our tax dollars, your tax dollars, to pay them, to pay what's owed. So we're trying to, I mean, council, it's up to us, but then we have to explain to taxpayers why we're spending their money. So we have to make sure we've looked at all the options. Okay, Lynn?
You know, so this is good that you're telling
Yes.
us this, and but I understood a lot of it about the leads and
Yes.
everything previously. But you know, 2 years we're beginning to think what's going on. Well, now I know, and because it's on Zoom,
Yes.
it's public too.
Yes.
That keep asking because I live on North Street.
Yes.
And but the rats thing was interesting. That I was telling somebody I was going
Yep.
to do this. And they said, oh, don't, the only person that said don't encourage it people down, said, don't do that, it's full of rats. So I don't know why they thought if you pulled it down.
It's perception and, you know,
But it is dangerous.
I could say, Lynn, I heard that your house is full of rats.
Yeah.
What can you know?
I know, I'm going to tell you that. People
Okay.
are out there, don't know what the situation is. And
Now, legally, we didn't have a right to talk about this. It's not our property. So I can't, until we own it, I couldn't be telling people what was going on. Okay?
so
and-
when we take it over because it is dangerous. It's when can, you know, I know now you own it, but before that, couldn't you just say, look, this is.
We did all that.
Yeah.
Health unit was, like, I mean, the municipality has been very actively working on that file, okay? Again, our lawyers telling us, be careful, because we have owners, they still owned it at that time. So I can't badmouth, I can't, I couldn't do that, so I told people we're working on it, that's all I could say. So then they're saying, well, you're keeping things. I believe in telling everything, but when my solicitor tells counsel, you don't talk until you own it, that's what we do. So I can apologize to the public, but I think the public should appreciate that I'm trying to protect the public. I'm trying to protect the public and their dollars so that we made the right decisions. So
I
now,
don't think we have to apologize to the public because we
You've
don't
done
do
your
anything
duty.
to apologize for.
You've done your duty.
That's right.
yeah, well, if I got told that, and of course, they're all mostly look at me. They think council is innocent of any decisions, and that's not how we work here. We make decisions together. We've all been together on all of these decisions. It's not mine. But council was, supported me 100% when I said that I would maybe go to the province and the feds and ask for that lien, because that took me a lot of work to get that. But council was 100% behind me.
That took a long time
It
as
took us
well.
a long time. Okay,
Okay, so now that we're at this point, and
Yeah.
we understand more fully that there's taxes, back taxes.
Yes.
And all that.
Mhm.
Okay, but you own it, okay, and now if we look at the bigger picture for Killaloo, the future of Killaloo, the prosperity of Killaloo, the attractiveness of Killaloo.
Yes.
for Tourists.
yes,
And this thing is a terrible price war. There's a lot of people that are upset about it. So it may take a little more money, but it really should come down. Okay, and then once it's clear, I think you have a better chance of selling the property to a new business. I mean, right now, you gotta invest in order to get a return,
we're aware of all of that, Bruce, and council all have that, but when we do make the decision, we want to be able to, when somebody comes to me and said, but did you think about, we'll have thought about that. So I can say, listen, we looked at all the options and we felt this was in the best interest of Killaloo and the taxpayers.
But you understand from an ordinary citizen's point of view, the town is starting to look pretty decrepit, and that's one of the main reasons. And I don't know if you've been to Maine Youth in the last few years, but I visited and talked to the CEO there. And they went to the bank and got money and spruced up the place and refurbished it. Now it's according to him, it's a go-to destination,
That's good.
and then that means there's more taxes coming in and it pays back. So I think we may be at a point here where you need to do something like that, where you need to go for it, and hell with it. And see, there's not gonna be probably any fallout from it, just tear it down, get it done, and see if you can attract,
I'm not, and Bruce, I'm not saying no to you.
Okay,
I'm just telling you that you need to give council an opportunity to look at all the options
Yeah.
so that when they do make their final decision, which in fact could be what you're asking.
but I'm just trying to give you the sense of how people feel.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, I've been wearing this building for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Had to keep my mouth shut and they're yelling at me. It was difficult, but I would never say, I try not to say anything to get this place into trouble. So council has been very, very supportive. We know it's a problem. We also have taxpayers, and you're concerned about Killaloo, but somebody in Round Lake doesn't always think the same. And I have to face them as well.
Yeah.
But if I can say to them, we looked at 8 options. And in the best interest of everybody, we felt this was the best. I can justify it. But if I say, well, no, we didn't look at that. No, we didn't look at that. So we're gonna have all our I's dotted and our T's crossed when we make that decision. And it should be relatively soon.
Coming back to the present time.
Yes.
And in the immediate future, can you see, you have a plan, to take it down in some kind of reasonable time? In other words, can you see a time? Sort of
I can't tell you that until we've looked at all the options.
like 6 months? 3
Oh,
months?
I think council will be making a decision relatively soon, once we review everything.
In
And
June?
I would see.
Soon.
Yeah, Soon. No, I don't tell me to June, but it'll happen relatively quickly, I think. I'm speaking out of turn because council hasn't given me that direction.
Well,
But-
that's music to our ears, right?
Absolutely.
But just that's a decision, that doesn't mean it's coming down.
That's right. It's a decision we're gonna make and then, you know, we have to do our
But
work.
I mean, well, I don't have to tell you, it's to the Kildare's detriment that it stands there looking, with other houses on Queen Street, empty and full of garbage in their yard. It's not good for the main street, you know, for the downtown.
Again, I'll tell you what a judge, I was in a hearing and I'll tell you what a judge said. Just because you don't like what my yard looks like, doesn't mean it's bad. And that's exactly what municipalities face because, you know, Carl Keel has been after council, but we you know, we've got to clean up the town. Well, I can't touch private property, so we try to do incentives, we try to do stuff. But personally, I will not take $600,000 out of the tax base to look and pay for something that another human being did. I don't think as a taxpayer, I should pay for his mistakes. So we did it the right way. I feel that it took some time, but we've done it the right way. We got it written off so nobody can yell at us. We'll try to recover something. It's whatever council decides. And I'll tell you, when council makes the decision, we can announce it. We'll go to the newspaper and announce it so that you know what's happening. Fair enough?
One last suggestion,
Yes,
you remember the Salvage Kings?
yes.
And maybe they'd be interested.
No, we've done that already.
Yeah.
I think that was one of our options. And Chris has done the investigations and they're not interested, so. So don't think we haven't thought, but you see, if we hadn't have done that, somebody could have come to me and said, why didn't you try it? And I'd say, oh my God, we never even thought about that, but I can answer, we did do that. Okay? So, like, don't give up hope on council. You know what we've been doing. I don't want you to think that we've been sitting idly, because we haven't. And we'll continue to work on it. And council needs to have all the information in front of them to make a good, solid decision.
So there's a glimmer of light here.
There's a glimmer of light, yes,
At the end of the tunnel.
at the end of the
You
tunnel.
might see something happen this year.
Yes, maybe, yes.
That's all I want to hear.
Okay, maybe. Debbie?
Yeah, I was just gonna expand a little bit on, you know, when Janice talked about, this is central to the village and everything like that. And when you have the other taxpayers are saying, okay, so it's now in our name, you're looking at tearing down another building in the village. What about the rest of us? Our roads are falling apart.
Yeah.
And we can't go out and borrow all over the place. We just borrowed a lot of money for a fire hall. We're looking at putting money into a new roads yard. So there's lots of stuff out there, right? So people will come to you saying, why are you tearing the building down? Why did you take it over? There's other places for your money to go. And that's just the arguments that we're hearing, right? Because this will be, and I hope I'm not talking out of turn, this would be the third building within the village that we've torn down within the last few years.
Yeah, but we got the money for that.
Yeah.
We got the money for,
that one, yes, yeah, but but not everybody knows that, and I'm just saying it's people's perception. Right.
You're looking at a lot of old buildings in Kildare, so I mean, people should realize that it's gonna happen.
well,
That's right.
I'll take you with me when they're.
Yeah, but then they're gonna look at, we travel these roads every day, there's millions of cars, and we want people to come here, yeah, but if your roads are falling apart, your vehicles.
And they're not gonna come
apart,
kill
they're
us
not
for
gonna
roads
come
are
to
bad.
ride it. So, and that's just all the arguments that we hear,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah.
But we are trying to give you a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
And we have been working on your behalf. We really truly have.
Something does have to be done.
Yeah.
It wasn't the hope I wanted, I wanted to know the plan.
Well, we are gonna develop a plan, but we're gonna look at the options and then we're gonna develop a plan. I can't say how long it'll take, or, I mean, in my wisdom, it's gonna be up to council, but we're taking it seriously. We're not gonna make a flippant decision that could come and bite us. We're doing it so that we don't get sued. We're doing it so we don't get into trouble. We've done everything by the book, so we don't get into trouble. Because then I'm gonna waste more of your tax dollars trying to defend something we should have done, you know? Fair enough?
one last thing, I'd just like to see it happen before I have to take a dirt nap.
Why?
Carl?
You're gonna be here for 20 years. Go ahead.
You can ask anybody on council here, my biggest pet peeve is property standards. That's it. I hate dirty properties. But,
Standards.
and, yeah, property standards, but we can't go and do anything. The only way we can do anything is the property's all done.
Safety.
We need a written letter, and the person that's complaining has to sign it
And go to court.
and go to court. And our hands are tied.
I'm not going.
I complain all the time.
You can't find someone for having their front yard loaded with garbage on Main Street.
Well, somebody has to complain, and that person has to sign a letter and they have to go to court. So you find me that person. They call and say blah, 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 and I'll say, just write it down. Oh, no, you guys, I don't want to get involved in that. Well, sorry then.
And if you do find them, and they're not paying their taxes, they're not gonna pay their fine.
No.
You're not gonna get the money in the bank.
Or they'll clean it up and then it'll be back to where it was 3 months down the road.
Yeah, we have spent piles of money on those issues. And a month goes by and it goes right back to what it was. So it's a constant, and it's costing taxpayers huge amounts of money. And municipalities, I've talked to colleagues all over Ontario, they lose. We lose because the judge said, just because you don't like a washer on the front lawn of that lady's lawn, that doesn't mean that you have a right to tell her she can't have it. It's her property. Unless it's unsafe. Unsafe things, then we can get involved.
Debbie and I were at a meeting in Deep River of property standards, and they said it's the hardest thing to enforce. The judge said, you don't like it, build things.
That's exactly.
That's a
so.
rule.
But we do get the blame. Anyways, I'm really glad that you came in to ask us those questions sooner than talking behind our backs. You came and you wanted to know the facts, and I've given them to you. I'm as honest, and honestly, I couldn't be for it just because of the logistics of it. And we're very lucky as a municipality that we did get the response from the feds and the provincial, because we would have never, ever been able to recover that money. So, you know, they were, Mr. Yakubowski and Cheryl Gallant were very helpful through that process, but we had to go right to the minister. You know, and those things don't happen overnight. And we bet, you know, we were almost at the point of begging. I harassed them. Pardon me?
Thank you for having us.
No problem. And thank you. No, thank you for coming in. I appreciate
We
that.
wanted to see ourselves on TV.
You did? Okay.
You can keep playing it back now.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much. Have a nice night. Good night.
Good night.
So council, our next delegation, we're gonna go into closed. So we can have a mover and a second. I'll call them in once we've gone into closed, and I'll tell you why.
Moved by Debbie Poplinski, second by Carl Keel. Be it resolved that council move into a closed meeting pursuant to section 230 of the Municipal Act as amended for the following reason: a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board.
All in favor?